we begin with the Los Angeles Dodgers. They go to Tokyo, and they end up sweeping the Cubs in the short 2-game series. Pretty much easy for, I would say, the 8 hours that they played there because the pitching was good. And Shohei Ohtani, of course, is the greatest. And Shohei Ohtani hit a home run in this game yesterday. 6-3 the final. We've got our first view of Roki Sasaki. I know for opening day, these numbers are sort of bizarre to see starting pitchers only go 3 innings and 4 innings, but that's what happened today. Sasaki, 3 innings, throwing 100 miles an hour, and walked 5, struck out 3. He'll get that fixed. Justin Steele gave up 5 hits, 5 earned runs. Also, Tommy Edman homered. It was the first home run of the Major League Baseball season. Tommy Edman, for those trivia buffs out there, he had that. Now the Dodgers go back and the Cubs go back to spring training. They'll each play a few more games, and then they'll get the regular season started. Meanwhile, last night, how about Alabama State with a Hail Mary at the end of the game to move forward to play Auburn in the NCAA Tournament? They beat St. Francis, final score 70-68. Amar Knox, he is the game-winning layup with a second left. Alabama State wins by 2. Knox had 16 points. And by the way, how about the reward for this one? Alabama State, the 16 seed, they creep in now. They take on the Auburn Tigers. And Auburn is now the biggest, I think they are the biggest favorite. Check on that for me for a second, Alex, if Auburn's a bigger favorite than Duke. But Auburn is 31.5-point favorites against Alabama State, and they have to play tomorrow afternoon. Get out of there quick, fly out of Dayton, and get to your game. North Carolina, this game, what's that, Alex? What'd you say? Okay, they are the biggest favorite. I was right about that. Got one thing right on the show today. That's one more right thing that I got than yesterday. North Carolina crushed San Diego State. This game was not worth watching. I quit at halftime, sorry to say. 95-68. R.J. Davis had 26 points. He made all of his three-pointers. And North Carolina, by the way, knocked down 14 threes. It was the most, would you believe this, in the history of their tournament games in the NCAA. And they actually are favorites over Ole Miss, the 11 seed, UNC. Ole Miss, the 6th seed. That game will be Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern. One of the most fun games to play for those of you who are still gaming out there online in sports is probably College Football 25. It was the most popular game of last year without a doubt. EA Sports announced yesterday they are going to bump up some of the money to these kids in return for using their NIL, their name, image, and likeness. The number is now $1,500. It was $600 last season. EA Sports is spending $16 million on player NILs for College Football 26. And my son plays the game a lot. I play against him, and generally I lose against him pretty much every time, too. Go figure there. All right, Indiana has a new college basketball leader. Mike Woodson, as we know, is out. Darian DeVries is in. He joins the Hoosiers after spending just one season with West Virginia. And the Mountaineers, of course, were that snub in the NCAA tournament. They finished their season 19-13, and he'll now get to coach a bigger team in the Big Ten in Indiana. Maybe they will turn their program around, although they did finish the season, I would say, fairly well. All right, AP All-American first team in college basketball. We got Broome, Sears, Smith, Clayton, and Flagg. Those are the big names, of course. Flagg, probably the college basketball player of the year. He is the Wooden Award heavy favorite at -220. You would assume so. He has been the name everyone's talked about all season long, although Walter Clayton Jr. from Florida is probably been the best player of the country over the last month. We'll see who gets the nod as the top player in the country. All right, so tonight's games, we have 2 more games in college basketball, 2 more 16 seeds. We have American 2.5-point favorites against Mount St. Mary's, who are no stranger to the tournament in the past, 6:40 Eastern in Dayton, and the winner will play number 1 Duke. And then later tonight, you would say the prime matchup is 9:10 Eastern in Dayton, and it's Xavier taking on Texas to earn the 11th seed right, and the winner will play against number 6 Illinois coming up later this week. The Atlanta Hawks in the NBA dominated the Hornets 134-102. Trae Young had 31 points and 8 assists. The Hawks, by the way, knocked down 22 three-pointers. They're 5 games behind Detroit for the 6th seed in the East. They're going to make the playoffs, trying to get a better seed if they can. The Celtics beat the Nets 104-96. They didn't even have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but in this game they did have Baylor Shireman. The rookie had 20 points and 13 in the fourth quarter, which really impressed their head coach, Joe Mazzulla.
The thing I really like about him is his toughness. So he's got a high level of toughness to him. He's got a chip on his shoulder, kind of like a kind of FU mentality to where he's gonna make it work. And you saw that on some of his box outs, some of his offensive rebounds. So Again, the threes were great, but I like the mindset and the toughness that he brought on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, you kind of have to have that mentality to make it, in this league with a lot of talented players. And, every time I step out on that court, I'm trying to go, 110% and play as hard as I can, regardless of the score or who we're playing. And just try to put my best foot forward every single time.
Jimmy Butler continues to roll with the Golden State Warriors. They beat the Bucks 104-93. Jimmy had 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. Golden State's currently the 6th seed in the West, plus 750 to win the Western Conference. But it's been all about the trade that has really propelled the Warriors. Just ask their head coach, Steve Kerr.
I thought Jimmy's 3-point play at the end of the quarter was a big one, getting fouled and knocking down the 3 free throws. And then, we felt good about that lineup that we put out there to start the fourth. It's been a great lineup for us. And they really made a nice push. QP hit the big three from the corner, just there's a good flow with that group and good two-way lineup. So they made a great run, and that we were able to hold them off.
I've been playing in this league for 14 some years now. So I can tell, I know when I need to get my guys involved. I know when somebody has it going. I know when somebody needs to shoot the ball. And I think that's my job out there. Get the ball where it needs to go. When I need to score, be able to do that. When I need to get to the free throw line, be able to do that. Get some stops and whatever the team asks for me to do. That's what I got to do. I think I've got a good feel of that because I've been doing it for a while now.
One of the potential playoff teams out west, the Sacramento Kings, are going to have to eke through the rest of the regular season without Domantas Sabonis. He's going to miss 10 days with a right ankle sprain, according to ESPN. The Kings are 3-6 without him. The playoffs in the NBA begin next month. Mecole Hardman has left Kansas City. He signed with Green Bay. It's a 1-year contract, and he'll play some wide receiver as well, with Christian Watson still recovering from an ACL. Brandon Graham was retired after 15 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, he had that strip sack of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl that helped Philly win that game, in the Philly special game. Jeff Okudah signs a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings, and Garrett Bradbury signs a 2-year deal with the Patriots to play center for them. Also, there are some reports, and again, reports, I want to be clear on this, NFL's Tom Pelissero saying that the Vikings are not interested in Aaron Rodgers, and J.J. McCarthy will be their quarterback to start the season, so that would leave Rodgers' options pretty thin with Pittsburgh, New York, or maybe even retirement. And also Jalen Milroe apparently had a dinner with Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. Now, again, a dinner doesn't mean the team is going to draft him, but needless to say, they're looking for a quarterback there, and Milroe could fit that bill.